Hello folks, this is Azrash Draken of Team Missouri, and we're at Cheydinhal. Let's go into
Fine
Cheydinhal.
greetings to you.
Whoa! Yep, I have Better Cities installed. I'm using the open version of it. There's actually an option, pop up when you first enter game that asks you whether or not you want tower archers, like on these walls here, wall archers, and whether or not you want the city to be open or closed. And it has that option for, the separate cities as well as all of them. This excludes the Imperial City, however. So the Imperial City hasn't been worked on in that capacity. Separated it into the Tamriel world space. I don't know what that would actually involve. I haven't done that much modding of this game, and I think I was just floating in the air when I got out of the water. Sometimes that happens. But yeah, this is my character, Azrash Draken. I'll have to face into the light. He's a Dunmer. Yep, that's my character in the awesome Blades Captain Armor. I also have a Blades mod that changes the armor a little bit. But yeah, this is Better Cities. A lot of the content that's in the city, like a lot of this clutter, wasn't in Vanilla Oblivion. So this gives it, Better Cities gives it kind of a sense that it's more authentic. The cities look more realistic. And there are some areas of the Imperial City that are also changed, but to see everything about Better Cities, you'd have to, there's probably videos of it on YouTube, or you can actually get Better Cities if you have the game, get Better Cities, install it, and go from there. It's best if you play it on the highest possible quality. So if you have a computer that isn't capable of the highest possible quality, as far as Oblivion's concerned, I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to run Better Cities. It does run well with, mid-level computers from, say, about 2007 and on, but, you really want to have, something like this, at least something like this. I have my graphics set to high-quality textures. I think I have either Bloom or HDR on, I forget which one it is. But, yeah, just look at this. This is, so much better than Vanilla Oblivion. This is why
You have the hands of a healer.
This is why I chose to use Better Cities. But, I like this stream in Cheydinhal the best. This is like one of the best things about it.
Look at the muscles on you.
But, yeah, I let the NPCs kind of talk because I don't want to talk over them. Not because I might hurt their feelings or anything like that, it's just that, it's hard for anybody on YouTube watching the video to, pay attention to what I'm saying and what the NPCs are saying. It's always the same kind of crap. But still, I let them talk because it's just better off that way. In the open cities versions, you can actually get out of the city this way, out of the different cities through these canals or, drain systems, other than just using the city gates themselves. Let's see what the city itself actually has to offer. One of the things in Better Cities that they do is they have a lot of these rings with pillars underneath them. You can find these actually in Anvil, a couple places I believe, like in the courtyard. You can find that kind of structure, but they use them throughout the various cities. Coral is another city that they do that with. So basically, what's this video about? Well, besides for Better Cities and just showing it off, it's about, well, the fact that I can record Oblivion at 720p, full 720p, not just some strange resolution. And yeah, it does take up quite a bit of space in RAW format before I render, but I have no problems with that. At least for now. I'm not going to be doing a really big video series on this, you know, on any particular mods. You know, most of the mod reviews that I do would only be 15 minutes in length or less. Since I'm going to be talking about channel news as well, along with Better Cities, I was going to do an full Oblivion Let's Play, but I can get about 30 parts done, and then, you know, my hard drive space is just too low by that point. And I have to render out all the videos, which takes about 25% longer than the video itself. Like if I were to render like if I were to record a 15-minute video, for instance, right? It would take 20 minutes to render it at the 720p. I use Windows Movie Maker for it because I can't afford any other kind of software, special software for that kind of thing. So, yeah, my options are kind of limited in that regard right now. Where my options are severely limited is my internet connection. And that's something I can't really do anything about at the moment. And while we're looking out at this wonderful view, maybe I can get an even better view than this. I don't know. I think, yeah, that's pretty nice. While we're looking at this view here, I'll just talk a little bit about some other things. I am able to record Terraria. Basically, you have to, you know, disable that frame limiting option or whatever it is in the Terraria menu. It's under video, under the settings. You have to disable that. And then you have to set the FPS of Fraps. If you're using Fraps, you have to set it to 60 FPS. And I'm able to record that at 1280 by 720 as well. I could try recording at 1920 by 1080, which is full HD, but it would lag way too much. So my current limit is 720p for essentially everything. I have tried 1080p with Oblivion, and it works. It just takes up too much file space. It really takes up a lot of file space. And instead of being able to get like 30 segments done, you know, 30 segments of 12 to 15 minutes each, I can only get maybe about 15 done before my hard drive space begins to wear thin. I don't like to go anything below like 200 gigabytes free. I don't know why. I just have some sort of complex when it comes to that. And I have a 1 terabyte as my recording drive. I'm probably going to get something more than that later on, or just get a number of secondary hard drives. Yeah, in Better Cities, there are, like, since this is about Better Cities, and not about channel updates as much as it is about Better Cities, there are hidden doors throughout the various cities. At least, not the Imperial City, but the other cities that can be open or closed. If you're using the open version, there is a doorway. There are a series of doorways throughout the different cities that lead to the closed versions of those cities. Sometimes the AI-controlled NPCs will go, which is every NPC, I mean AI-controlled NPC, it's kind of like, you know, over redundant, I'd say, but yeah, any AI-controlled object, an NPC or anything, will end up going into those doors and going into the closed version of the city. And that's kind of a pain in the butt as far as quests are concerned, because you have to end up going into the closed city to meet with them. And I wondered what that was all about first, until I actually read the FAQ about Better Cities. So if you're going to install Better Cities, it's best for you to read the FAQ before you do anything. That applies to everything that you install on your computer. You should read everything about it. You know, possible bugs, possible frame rate, you know, problems, possible FPS problems, you know. Like, FPS does drop, not substantially for me, but Apparently some people who use Better Cities have FPS drops. And, oh, this is another area up here. Before, this was just a barren hill. You can't go into these buildings yet. They're not complete. The exteriors are complete, and that's all. These doors are just dummies right now. Yeah, the courtyard's not changed at all. So, like, there's nothing about the courtyard that's changed. I might actually go in and, like, I love to fool around with mods and all that, so I might show you some of the stuff that I fool around with when I'm modding. I do have Skyrim, by the way. I do have that now. I've got through, you know, roughly 3/4 of the main quest, and I haven't gotten to do anything else yet. I did join the companions. So far, that is it. You know, I fought several dragons already. I don't know how many dragons I fought so far, but it's really interesting, the varying magnitude of different dragons. You can even fight a skeletal dragon, and you know, you have to use different types of spells, different types of weapons that'll be more effective for each type of dragon. Like, there's even an ice dragon, so I mean, you know, you got to pick your spells and your weapons appropriately, which I just love that about Skyrim. I love the perk system as opposed to the Oblivion system. It actually gives your character more, I don't know, authentic feel. It feels like it's your character and not just some pre-generated like this one. You know, you have to have there's a certain amount of skill perks that you can get. If you use them up, well, that's all. Although your skills themselves, however, are just dependent mostly on how often you use the skills, and then it'll level up that way. But you're only given so many perks and all that. So, and fatigue, now known as crap. Yeah, I lost the word for it. I just don't remember. And I've been playing the game, you know, every day since it was released. Let's see. Well, anyways, fatigue actually matters more in Skyrim than it does in Oblivion. Like, in Oblivion, it hardly matters at all. You can empty your fatigue all the way down, and you'll still be able to attack at least. You know, your attacks won't be nearly as effective, of course. You can still do that in Skyrim too, but there's a heck of a, you know, you forfeit a lot of strength and stuff when you're doing that. Stamina, that's the word, stamina. I can't believe I didn't think of that before, but I'm one of those people who, you know, at the worst time possible can't think of a word that I'm trying to think of. I know the word is right on the edge of my tongue, it just doesn't come out, so I don't know what's wrong with that. Anyway, expect to see probably bits and pieces of a Skyrim walkthrough. You know, I'm not going to record every, you know, part of Skyrim because that's, I don't know. There's like 90 other people doing Let's Plays for Skyrim right now, and I'm pretty late to dodge here, so it's not going to really be all that interesting to see what I do. I'm going to be going along with, like, you know, thief characters and things like that. People who sneak and use archery a lot, you know, like to steal things. But besides that, I'll be probably doing some stuff with Terraria. I'm going to continue to do my Minecraft series. My, you know, where I do a complimentary tour or supplemental tour of, it's the same thing. You know, a supplemental tour of, you know, the Azuri City in Minecraft. And, we'll see how that turns out. It's turning out pretty good already. I mean, it's, the construction of that map is coming along really great. When it comes to, like, channel updates like this, I'm mostly going to be playing Oblivion while I'm doing some sort of channel update, because Minecraft does lag a little more than Oblivion does for whatever random reason. It's best for me to do Minecraft at 848 by 480 as opposed to, you know, what I have been posting, what is 1280 by 720. And I don't like to post full screen. I like widescreen. I just have gotten used to it. I'm not usually a stickler for like new technologies and all that, but I do like the whole widescreen format very much so. So I like watching people who do full screen Let's Plays. You know, there's a lot of people who do that. I don't mind it at all, really. It's just my personal taste is I record in a widescreen format.
You're a sneaky looking sort.
And there's nothing more to it than that. You know, I'm not gonna, you know, downrate someone's video because they happen to post in full screen, you know. I'm not gonna be like that when it comes to someone else's video. This is just how I like to record. And Cheydinhal, as far as I'm concerned, is my favorite city when it comes to better cities. Just, I don't know. Leyawiin's a lot better too. You know, it's actually flooded, partially flooded. Hey, look,
Fellow Knight, I bid you welcome.
There's the Knights of the Thorn. I almost ended up killing this guy in that quest to close the Oblivion Gate outside of Cheydinhal. Almost ended up killing that guy because, like most NPCs, when you have allies in battle, they'll jump right in front of your sword when you least expect it. You know, and it's, you know, it's only when you swing the sword. It's like, I was trying not to swing my sword, and I was like, oh, this guy's having trouble with a Dremora. And so I'm like, oh, well, I'm gonna swing my sword. And when I decide to swing my sword, he just jumps right into view and gets hit by the sword. And I'm like, oh, God, he starts fighting me, and I have to use the alt-click thing, and it's a mess. It's a huge mess when that happens. Or the alt-space method, yeah. That's what it is. Control for it. You know, that's when you surrender in battle or something. Because I didn't want to go into battle with an ally. You know. That gets you in trouble with the guards. That always happens to me. It's like, I never look forward to the quest that involves allies in combat. In Skyrim, that system works a lot better. You know, in Oblivion, it's just, I don't look forward to any quest that involves, number one, waiting a lot, like a lot of the Mages Guild quests make you do, and that really ticks me off. There's nothing that ticks me off more, though, than a mod that also does that. It's like these mod creators probably experienced the same trouble and annoyances that I did when I had to wait for stinking things in the Mages Guild. But then they, you know, develop their mods so that you have to wait. You know, it's like, what do you think? I mean, if it's annoying to you, it's probably annoying to everyone else. Something like that is just having to wait time, you know. You're better off going off doing some other quests in the meantime. But sometimes mod developers make it so that you have no choice but to wait, because you're not going to be going anywhere else anyways. You know, like let's say you're stuck in some strange Daedric realm or something and there's no getting out until you complete the quest. And then they make you wait, and that's like the lowest thing to me. You know, like I have things about every mod that I don't like. For one thing, this mod does crash a bit more. You know, the game does crash a bit more since I installed Better Cities, but, you know, could I live without Better Cities? Probably, but I like Better Cities personally. I prefer to have it, even if I crash once in a while. I haven't crashed yet in this, you know, little walkthrough that I recorded, but I crash at an average of every 15 minutes, and that's average. You know, I'd say I can go for at least a couple hours at, you know, best time. You know, look. Oh, there we go. There's that floating bug. Huh. I just love that. He's still floating. That's hilarious. Okay, stop floating. Okay, there we go. And, well, so this was a test walkthrough at the same time. It was a channel update at the same time mod review. I had to say that I'd give Better Cities. I mean, it does what it says it does. For one thing, you get what you expect from Better Cities. You get better looking cities for one. So, you know, kudos to that because, you know, I got exactly what I was expecting from the screenshots and from everything else. It looks just right as rain to me. And because that's all that's involved in this mod, there's a lot of other extras too, like the Gold Horse Courier and some extra quests here and there that are kind of interesting. So I got a lot more than I actually expected out of this mod. And you know, the textures, the new models look lovely. And okay, that was just a phone call, but yeah, from what I expected out of all of this, I expected less than what I got, and so I'd have to rate it a 10, like just plain, you know, at the lowest, 9 3/4, a 9.75869, something like that. I would, yeah, I was listening to some recorded message on the phone, because I didn't end up answering it. So that's all. As you can see, I got into the city through the gate without having a loading screen. Oh, another thing that I don't like, but I know why it's necessary, and so I'm not going to hold this against the mod developers at all. The Imperial City has its own world map, meaning that to get out of the Imperial City, like if you're in the Imperial City, to get out, you have to go to the nearest external gate, and so you have an extra load screen that way instead of just being able to fast travel out of the city somewhere. You can't fast travel out of the city anymore. All that you can manage to do is get to the gate, and then when you get out of the city, you can fast travel again. I don't like that too much.
How can I help you today,
obviously,
friend?
but it has cut down on, you know, the average amount of load screens that I get because, you know, these cities are open at least. So overall, it does cut down on the amount of load screens. If I were using the closed versions of these, I wouldn't see why I would do that. I just have more loading screens to contend with. So that part of it, I understand that they have to have the world spaces set up appropriately. You know, that's a small complaint, and there's nothing really they can do about it, so I can't really, you know, place that as a minus for the mod. So, like I said, it still stands that it's a 9.758670311111111 Haxor's rating. So, that'll be all for this Oblivion thing. Expect more Minecraft, Terraria, and oh yeah, Battle for Middle-earth 2, but especially expect some Skyrim in the near future. That is all. Azur's Draken out.